Hi there, this is Alicia King, Just a Girl in Camas, and I'm here to chat with you today about a very important topic. I know sometimes I chat about some fun things going on in downtown Camas, but today the topic is going to be about a new bond that Camas is looking to pass in February this year. And it's very important because it affects all of you that live here in Camas. So today we're going to chat a little bit about what that bond entails and exactly what you should be looking for. And with me today, I have the lovely Alicia, who's going to chat with us. And you've seen these two on some previous interviews. And we have Jeff Snell, who is the Deputy Superintendent for Camas Schools. Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Yes. So let's get some good info out to these people out there. And to give a little background on the bond, I'm going to chat with you, Alicia, because there is a group that came together that has come up with the things that will be worked on with this bond. Why don't you give me some background on how this came to be and your efforts in this bond?
I'd love to.
Okay.
So earlier in the spring of 2015, 54 community members came together. These people represent staff and students and residents of Camas, along with business owners and experts. We met with people like architects and people who've had a connection to the community for a long time. A lot of these are directly involved in schools, but a lot of them came just as residents of Camas who are interested in really making an impact in the community.
So where did that many people meet, actually? The lodge?
I know, you'd be surprised.
I know they didn't fit in City Hall, right?
Well, we met at the ZAC building, the administration building, and we also took field trips to different schools because when we're talking about a bond, we're talking about monies that go to building and capital building projects. So we like to say that B is for bond, and those things are for building. And levies with the L are for learning resources.
Okay, that is good to know because I was calling this a levy earlier on, and I'm like, this is a bond, and so that's the difference. Is it's for buildings and
yes. And when we talk about these things, it covers so many areas. Some of them are pretty basic, things like carpet and roofs and windows, and it's not glamorous, and sometimes they're not even exciting to think about spending money on. But the fact of the matter is we need them. And we need them to instruct our students and to house our staff and all these things. It also covers things like new buildings, and everybody knows Camas is growing. So we're talking about some new schools, some new properties, upgrades in safety and technology. And so all of those are covered. And I always am impressed that when we get together in these groups in Camas, I mean, people aren't afraid to ask the hard questions. There's no pushovers in this group. We had a past FBI agent working on our security committee. We were in one meeting where I think the woman made a few comments like, well, at the White House last week and things like that. And she was advising us on some new learning models. So really, I think that the administration did a wonderful job pulling in not only experts, but also people who were going to really ask some hard questions. And they did that on behalf of Camas citizens who, you know, they work hard. They want their money to count. We're not just throwing money at fluffy stuff that's, you know, just perks and bells and whistles. Like you said, I think all of us involved really feel that this is a necessity in terms of building and in terms of really empowering our students with new opportunities.
Okay. So this group came together. I know some people came in and worked with you, professionals from different areas. And there's this bond now that is presented to the public that we need to vote on. And in reading about this bond, the little that I've read, which you should be receiving a flyer in the mail that's going to go over a lot of detail about the bond. But Jeff, I want you to say a little more specific about where this money is going. I know people, we like to invest in our schools. We have people moving here for schools every day. What exactly is this money going towards?
Yeah, so in moving to our area every day is like, I'm glad you brought that up because one of the things that we did to bring information to the committee was survey the community. And we found that 76% of the people that had moved into our community in the last 10 years cited the schools as the reason that they came to the community, which is pretty powerful. powerful. We have this cycle of people that really value education and want to invest in schools. They're moving here, their kids are here. It attracts more people, which brings growth, which presents the challenge of what do we do with that growth. So as Alicia said, the committee looked at 4 main areas for the recommendation with the bonds. The first was safety. As you build buildings, unfortunately, the world we live in, we look at safety standards, and the standards raise each kind of iteration of build. And so we have buildings like Prune Hill that were built in early stages of bonds, and now we have a Helen Baller or a Woodburn that came online, and the safety standards are different. So it's always using the bond as a tool to upgrade existing facilities to current standards. Another area that Alicia mentioned is the care of existing resources. So we are funded and we have money to take care of buildings, but those are typically just the yearly kinds of wear and tear. So things like roofs and carpets, we use the bond as a tool to replace those. So like the Dorothy Fox roof is in need of a new roof. We did Skyridge a couple years ago. So we have a cycle where we try to use bonds to upgrade the facilities and make sure they're taken care of. Things like the HVACs and you know, those kinds of systems.
And I think I saw the front entry at Skyridge and Liberty were on those things. Okay.
So, and then the third area, the biggest area of this one was looking at student growth. And the projections that we had were that our highest growth area was in our high school students in the next 5 to 10 years. And currently we're housing about 2,200 students between Hayes Freedom High School and Camas High. And we're projected to be up in the 2,600s by 2020 in that area. And so we really needed to look at a model that would allow us to give capacity to those high school students. Also in that committee looked at Lacamas Heights Elementary, and that's our oldest facility, 50 plus years, and so the recommendation came to look to build a new Lacamas Heights Elementary. The current capacity of Lacamas Heights is about 400, and so we'll expand that to be about 600, so we'll have greater capacity at the elementary schools with that new addition. Another part of that growth was the parking and traffic situation at Camas High School.
And I know you got a lot of people watching that are listening to this. I have friends that have kids in high school. It's a big problem.
Yeah, it's a big challenge, especially at 2 specific times in our day, right? When school's starting and when school's getting out. And so we've looked at a partnership with the city to expand the entryways into Camas High. So right now everybody goes through one spot, which is very problematic. So we're looking at increasing some parking capacity and having multiple entry points from the backside of Camas High in, working with the city around some traffic lights down as well. So one of the great things about being in our community is the partnership between city, schools, community members, and so even Alicia's co-chair Phil works for the city, and so there's a lot of dialogue about how we can do that together to come up with solutions. And hard to explain those in a video clip interview, but on our website is a lot of information around the recommendations from the committee, and as in the flyer that Alicia referenced to, even to the point where they have some map versions of what it would look like if the bond were to pass. The fourth area is around community enrichment and looking at facilities and ways that we can expand opportunities for kids during the school day, but also after the school day. In past bonds, Doc Harris Stadium would be an example of that.
I saw that on there. Some improvements there and some changes.
And the big piece of that was a recommendation to look at the Joyce Garver Auditorium and to look at bringing that back online and also creating a community kind of preschool center there. And so that has been a jewel in our community that hasn't been given the chance to shine the last 5 to 10 years. And so the committee looked long and hard at that and felt like that we could bring that on board. So concerts in our community, whether they're schools or other kinds of concerts, could end up at the Joyce Garver Auditorium, which would be great for kids and great for audience members.
It would be great. I'm all about restoring beautiful things and instead of just tearing them down and rebuilding. So that would be really neat to bring that back online.
Anybody has any questions, they can ask any principal. They can call the district office. There's lots of information on the school district website. And then there's another, our group is called Camas Citizens for Quality Schools at CCQS. And we have a website, voteyescamas.org. And there's Facebook pages, so there's lots of ways you can ask questions. We will never shy away from giving you information, from dealing with hard questions.
You got nothing to hide.
that's part of this.
All
People
right.
can ask what they need to.
All right. And so just so people are clear, this is a yes or no vote. Is that how the ballot will come? Yes or no? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Oh, just yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And when is it going to be mailed? January. What did one of you say? I'm sorry.
The
Jeff.
ballots come out January 22nd.
Okay.
And then the deadline to vote is February 9th.
Yes, as you can see on our whiteboard back here. And so they can either mail that in, or there will be locations to go vote as usual in the past years, the elementary schools and that type of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys. This is a big topic. It's a lot to cover, and I think there are a lot of questions out there. I hope that we've answered some of them for you because it's an important decision, but as a Camas resident, I do think it is one, aside from so many other things, it really is a beautiful thing of this city. It's our schools, and having kids in the schools right now, I'm pretty passionate about it. My grandparents that have lived in Camas for over 50 years, they've seen generations come in and out, and they are still paying those taxes and love seeing all the neat people, the great kids, and the experiences that these bonds can offer. So think about it when you vote and make sure you educate yourself and know what you're voting on. So thank you, Alicia, and thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
All right. This is Just a Girl in Camas, Alicia King. Thank you.